Welcome back. What does a properly fleshed skin look like? Let's concentrate on a bear today. Whatever you do with the bear skin is basically what you're going to do with the deer, elk, caribou, moose, or any other skin. You got to take care of it. Here's what it's supposed to look like when you're done, and then we'll work backwards and you can see it when it's a little bit fresher. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments below. As you can see, on this bear hide, it's almost ready to go to the tannery, or we can just go ahead and start tanning it ourselves. I want to show you quality skin preparation is very important. As you can see on this bear hide, it's been fleshed properly. There's no flesh, no meat, no fat, no membrane on it. This is the way all skins must be treated, whether they be bear, deer, elk, caribou, moose, African game. It makes no difference whatsoever. Quality skin care is very important. You must flesh it, later wash it, degrease it if necessary. Make sure the hair is properly combed out. Make sure there's no burrs in it. Note any spots that slip on this bear here. It's just the underarm area, a little thin. The ears have been turned inside out. The nose have been split. The lips have been split, meaning they roll out flat. All of this is necessary. On the skin of bears, you must skin out, the wind's blowing here, you must skin out the toes, right down to the last joint, right next to the claws themselves. On big cats, African cats, lions, leopards, things like this here, mountain lions from the United States, different areas, everything has to be skinned out properly and then salted. And again, if necessary, it should be washed. Now what I'll do here, hopefully keep the wind from blowing here, but as you can see, the skin, as it dries out, it will get hard and stiff obviously, but it also turns a different color because all the moisture is coming out of it. And you can see, again, this is a well cared for skin. Pretty much ready to go. As far as shipping goes, you want to ship it off to a tannery, or you want to go ahead and start the tanning procedure yourself. You have to skin out the tail. Everything has to be properly skinned out. Take your time, do a good job, try not to cut any holes. As you see here, there's a hole for the bullet. Usually on bullet holes, damage, things of this nature, or if it was a roadkill, you're going to see blood stains, soaks, that go directly into the flesh layer of the skin, and it will actually stain it. Now this here will come out during the tanning process, and it really doesn't make any difference on this side. Now on the hair side, since this bear here was shot, not a problem. All the white stuff you see here is salt. Again, this here has been properly turned and split. This bear is ready to go. And that's the way all skin should look. They have to be salted, they have to be properly fleshed and skinned. Here is another bear skin that's been properly fleshed and turned. It's all ready to be salted. The ears have been turned, lips, nose have been split. As you can see, all the fat has been removed from the bear skin. Now we will salt it with hay and stock salt. This particular bag says American Stockman solar milled salt, kiln dried. You cannot over salt. Apply as much salt as possible to the bear skin. Rub it in. Allow it to sit for 24 hours. Shake it off and repeat. Your bear skin needs to be this clean, right down to the blue. You do not cut into the hair roots. Here we see the same bear skin that's been properly salted. Notice the salt covers all over the skin, to the edges, inside the toes, the claws that's been skinned out. All over. The ears have been packed with salt. The face, everything has been salted properly. You cannot use enough salt. Don't worry about oversalting. It's impossible to do. Okay, this is one bear skin that you saw a little bit earlier. I went ahead and I applied the salt. You saw the skin before the salt was applied. Now you see the skin the next day. I shook off this one layer of salt. Now as you can see, it's already starting to get white, starting to get a little bit hard. Everything's been properly skinned and fleshed down. I cannot stress that enough, because if you leave fat, skin, membrane, whatever on the skin, there's a good chance you're going to have problems when you send it to the tannery. Then the tannery's going to get a hold of you and say, hey, well, you didn't do a good job, therefore we have hair slippage, etc. Now if you do your own tanning, which I recommend you to learn to do it properly, you will appreciate the time spent in doing what I refer to as the grub work. You have to do that. You have to do the manual labor to clean. And it doesn't make any difference if you use a sharpened teaspoon, a draw knife, a beam, or a fleshing machine. $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 fleshing machine. You have to do a good job. And it doesn't make a difference if you use your pocket knife. Do a good job. Now, when you turn the ears, sometimes you can burst them. They will tear or open up a little bit. Sometimes that just can't be helped. There's no reason to panic. You can make simple repairs. Just if you start to rip, starts to tear, slow down, reevaluate the situation. Do you have to use a scalpel? Take your time a little bit more, because when you use the ear openers to open them, it's easy to rip. When you get around the face, you have to split the lips, have them come down. Now, I usually leave a little bit more meat on the face, just a little bit, because if you're using a machine, it's too easy to go ahead and poke holes in them. So this way you can come back and use your hand in a small beam and clean it up very nice. Again, it's real important to do this. Now, usually a little bit of moisture accumulates on the inside of the hair that's located up into the head area when you have it turned inside out like this. So what I like to do on all my skins, doesn't make any difference if it's a bear, moose, deer, caribou, sheep, whatever. I like to go ahead and use a shop vac and blow air into there to get rid of that excess moisture. As you can see, you got to be careful, because when I was blowing air in there, it blew the salt that was in there back out into my face and my eyes. So things like that happen. And I'm not going to cut that part out of the video. This is a real true to life video, and this is what it looks like when you do it. You have problems, you make mistakes, not a big deal. It's all part of life. As we can see here, on the hair side, I run my hand through there, I still feel a little bit of moisture. Now I want to go ahead and get that dry. Usually when you have the hair perfectly dry, the flesh side usually becomes a lot drier and almost really hard, because this acts like a radiator. In a radiator, you increase the surface area of something to cool it down. The hair, these little filaments if you want, are all little tiny radiators, if you want to look at it that way, because it pulls the moisture out of the flesh side. So this is dry, the other side is going to become dry. And you can still feel some moisture up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up, blow this off a little bit. And what some taxidermists do, if you have a nice setup, you get a large tumbler and tumble it in sawdust and dry it out even more. But obviously, if you're going to tan skins, you're going to use the sawdust tumbler, so you might as well just run it through the process, not worry about it. So actually, this here is pretty good right now, until we can do further work on it. But I will go ahead and blow it off. Then from then, we'll go from there. Notice how nice and fluffy this is. Real important. On the face. Usually on areas of bear, slippage usually occurs in the face or in the armpit area, or any other place that was not properly taken care of or had a chance to spoil, because bacteria will cause hair slippage. That's why I usually like to run almost everything I do through a bacterial side wash. That can be a little bit of Clorox, which will incidentally eat the hair and flesh of creatures, so you have to use Clorox sparingly, just a little bit. Maybe a cup for 45 gallons, about all you need. All right. They do have bacterial side on the market that's put out by taxidermy companies, supply companies, and regular leather chemical wholesalers, houses. So now, a lot of people worry about bugs. Well, you know, we got a whole bunch of flies around here. You have maggots, you have this, you have that. Get yourself some insecticide. Usually comes in the green containers. You can get it at Wally World, Walmart, wherever. You can just spray it down a little bit, and that'll kill off any bugs that you have. You can spray it down a little bit here, and that'll take care of that. So keep this out of any direct sunlight or heat, and it'll last. You won't have any problems.